Hello my friends and welcome to Flying Circus Models. Based on the poll results, I decided to build Airco Dh.2 as my next project. And this is the first part, the cockpit. For a prototype, I decided to take a plane with the serial number 7851 of C Flight 32nd Squadron. The pilot was 2nd Lieutenant G S Wagner. He was shot down by Lieutenant Erwin Bohme on January 7, 1917. As you can see, it's a typical Roden kit, has a lot of pins, plastic leftovers, and a tail tube is bent a bit. I cut all cockpit parts from sprues, as well as both fuselage halves. Then I cleaned them with the sharp knife and the sandpaper. In order to remove a plastic imitation of the fuselage rigging, I changed the blade on my knife and used a scalpel blade number 10. I like to use scalpel blades because they have different shapes and they are very sharp. It was super easy to remove that plastic rigging after I sanded it with 400 grit sandpaper. I painted linen parts and all supposed to be wooden parts with Mr. Hobby sales color. For wood imitation I had my well-known technique, oil paint and flat dry brush. When oil dried, I covered all painted parts with the layer of Future. The kit seat has nothing in common with the original one, so I decided to make my own. The result is not ideal, but much better than the plastic one. To make a seat, I glued small pieces of copper wire. This will work as a frame, and started to weave a seat back using a very thin 0.1 mm fishing rod. After every 5-6 layers, I used a super glue to fix the rod. I spent about one evening to complete it. Once the seat was done, I cut it and glued to the seat cushion that was in the kit. The super glue is so strong, so I had to use a knife to remove the seat from my fingers. Then I cut the seat to make its shape to look more accurate. Using Tamiya epoxy putty, I made an imitation of a leather bezel for that seat. It takes around 1 day for putty to dry. Then I painted seat with Mr. Hobby tan color and use oils and dry brush. To make the rigging on the fuselage sides, I drilled holes on every corner of the wood frame. Then I cut a lot of copper wire pieces and made eyelets from them. After I glued them into the upper holes only, I will glue the wire into the bottom holes directly, just to save some time. Then I cut a lot of 0.6mm medical needles. The rigging process is very simple. Wire put through the needle piece, then eyelet and back to the needle. Fix it with the superglue, cut extra wire and repeat again. Here you can see the final result on the right fuselage half. In my opinion, it looks much better than the plastic rigging. Also, I added some details on the fuselage right side. Oil pulsator glasses, a wire, air pressure valve and gauge, and elevator trim lever. Moreover, I glued both gas and oil tanks. On left fuselage half, I added a hand pump, a fine adjustment wheel for the fuel, and base for that seat. Then glued a control stick floor with pedals and instruments. As you can see, I added wires from pedals and glued a compass. Seat cushion and bezel were painted in a dark chocolate brown color. Also, I attached HGW seat belts. After I glued the seat on its place, and I can say that the cockpit is completed. As usual, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, press like button and leave your comments below. It really helps me in the promoting of my channel, and I want to know what you think about my builds. Thanks for watching and see you in the next episodes.